Alaikum. Welcome to Risale-i-Nur, weekly Quranic wisdom study. Last week we started a new chapter from Risale-i-Nur by Said Nursi, and we read the question part last time. There was a good question raised in the introduction, and then today we're going to continue onwards with some answers. So as usual, Dr. Yamina is going to lead us in this Quranic wisdom study, and you're welcome to join in with comments and questions. Jazakallah khair, Dr. Yamina.
Thank you, Isra. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So we are continuing with the 20th word. So we read the introduction, and this is a question that comes to everyone's mind. But what is important about this question is that the answer is going to uncover a very important principle, a way of looking at the Quran and reading, interacting with the Quran as a discoverer, a light onto what's going on here and now in our lives. So, and the examples are given in the very introductions. There are three passages from the Quran, and the first one is about God telling the angels, so it's a conversation between God and the angels, telling them to prostrate to Adam, and they all prostrate except Iblis. And the question is, how is this relevant to us? And we talked about how this is not just to take a lesson from, but this is a law of creation, a law of rahmah, of all the names of God. It's a law of wisdom, a law of meaning, of purpose, of compassion, of all the names of God. So, and it applies to each one of us here and now. Otherwise, truly, even though we may not ask this openly, it may linger in the back of our mind, like, okay, I'm reading about God is speaking to the angels, about Adam, Satan. What is this to do with me? It happened, and that's exactly the question. It happened a long time ago. It's one event, okay. And here he's saying, no. It has everything to do with you here and now. And the emphasis was on the universality of the meaning and the message of the Quran to all of us here and now. And it's not only relevant, it is relevant, but more than that, it is absolutely indispensable for us to live a meaningful life here and now, and therefore in this life and in akhirah, inshallah, in the hereafter. It means eternally. And when we read the Quran this way, each time as it unfolds into our life, the meaning unfolds at some level. The same passage can unfold at different levels in our life, because we are not always totally open. It's a journey, it's a process. But however, whenever it's going to open and be revealed unto us, we are going to be able to confirm, if we are willing, if we have the intention, inshallah. And as we confirm the truth and the relevance and the indispensability of this, of any passage of the Quran, in this case, this conversation with the angels and Satan, then it also includes our confirmation of akhirah, our iman, our belief in the hereafter. Here and now increases, and it becomes yaqeen, it becomes more and more to the level of certainty, and that certainty will start increasing. So that belief in akhirah is not something that we will confirm after we die. That would be too late. If we are supposed to have yaqeen, to have certainty in the life after death, the eternal life after death, it means right now I need to work on that. The way to work on it, one of the ways, is, apart from the evidences and the testimonies of the creation, is also as we are reading and interacting and living with the Quran by means of the Quran, under the guidance of the Quran, in a way we can say when we start living the Quran in our life. To that extent, the certainty of akhirah here and God, getting closer to his rahmah, to his mercy, to his wisdom, to his knowledge, and to prostrating before his power. And so inshallah, in the first point, we did, I think, read the first point, but we need to go back to it. It is the answer to the question. And each time, one of the 3 passages there will be taken as an example to show how indeed the Quran is relevant, and it's much more than relevant. It has all to do with my life, our life here and now, inshallah. So shall we go maybe through the first point again, and we can maybe go through the, I think someone, maybe Isra, was saying maybe we can have a little context of the story of Adam, which I had mentioned last week, that we will see that the story of Adam is told few times in the Quran, and each time with a slightly different, not different narrative, but giving us different details, and like almost like from a different perspective, but it's the same story. And that same story, in one place it's talking about Adam only, and in another one it's talking about all human beings. And so we see that Adam is the generic term for basically every one of us, because potentially he represents the potential that is that every human being is created with.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Yamina, would it be good to start with the Quranic passage and then go and read the point again?
Sure, we could.
Yeah. So go ahead. I have here on the screen the passage from Surah Baqarah.
Yeah.
That is referred in.
It starts at the 230. Behold your.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So استعذ بالله. وإذا قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. And lo, thy sustainer said unto the angels, behold, I am about to establish on earth a Khalifa. This translation translates it as someone who will inherit it. and then the other one is the successor.
Or vice
Yeah, yeah, the senses. So behold, I'm about
it
this
means basically
earth.
someone represents.
Yeah, a representative. They said, will you place on it such as will spread corruption thereon and shed blood? Whereas it's we who extol your limitless glory and praise you and hallow thy name. He answered, verily, I know that which you don't know. And then in the next verse, وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. And he imparted unto Adam, he taught Adam the names of all of the names, right? أسماء كلها, all of the names. Then he brought them, he showed them to the angels and said, tell me the names of these if you are truthful. صادقين إن كنتم, if you were right, I guess. And then the next verse says, استعذ بالله قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. They, the angels said, limitless are you in your glory. No knowledge we have except that which you have taught us. Verily, you alone, all-knowing and all-wise. And the passage goes on. Shall I keep going, or? I guess even this one.
I think there is also.
Yeah, I think we should keep going because there's also the angels prostrating. استعوذ بالله وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين. And when we told the angels, prostrate yourselves before Adam, they all prostrated except Iblis, who refused and gloried in his arrogance, and thus he became one of those who denied the truth. وقلنا يا آدم اسكن أنت وزوجك الجنة وكلا منها رغدا حيث شئتما ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين. We said, O Adam, dwell thou and thy wife in this garden and eat freely thereof, both of you, whatever you may wish, but do not approach this one tree, lest you become wrongdoers. فأزلهما الشيطان عنها فأخرجهما مما كانا فيه وقلنا اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. But Satan made them slip and thus brought about the loss of the state that they were in. And so we said, down with you, enemies unto one another, and on earth you shall have your abode and your livelihood for a while. فتلقى آدم من ربه كلمات فتاب عليه إنه هو التواب الرحيم. Thereupon Adam received words of guidance from his sustainer, and he accepted his repentance, for verily he alone is the acceptor of repentance, the most merciful. قلنا اهبطوا منها جميعا فإما يأتينكم مني هدى فمن تبع هدايا فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. We said, get out or down with you all from this. There shall nonetheless most certainly come unto you guidance from me, and those who follow my guidance need have no fear, and neither shall they grieve. and then it it continues onwards. So this is one telling of Adam alayhi salam in the Quran in Surah Baqarah. It's so, I mean, it's so brief, but so intense. I mean, just within one verse, so many things are happening. So in coming back to verse 33 here, we started from verse 30 actually. It's so, saying, God, your Rabb is said to angels, I'm about to establish someone on earth as a vice-chair and as a representative. And the angel's response is so telling. Will you, put there someone who's gonna do corruption and shed blood? And the answer is not like, oh, there's a mistake, you misunderstood, they will never, do corruption, they will definitely not shed blood. The answer they get is not that. It's so in that silence, there's meaning. God knows, the Creator, Rabb knows that there is potential for shedding blood and corruption, but it's as if in that silence, it's saying, I know they are still worth creating. I know things that you don't. And then right after that, it refers to how Adam alayhi salam is taught all the names, and angels turn out that they don't know all the names. And then their angels prostrate, bow down before Adam, and except there's Iblis in the scene, and Iblis is not prostrating before Adam. So with that, maybe we can come back to the text here. The question, as we recall from last class, was that the Quran talks about using reasoning, thinking, reflecting, and yet when it tells us an event like this that is prehistory, we don't have access to this event. We didn't witness this event, nor is there any way
pertains to the unseen.
We can't even infer that this event happened by looking any evidence historically. It's just prehistory, it's unseen to us. So how come then the Quran is talking about using your reason and yet presenting us with an event that we actually, which happened in unseen realm? So how are we going to reason about this? So in response, there is this answer, which, as you said, Dr. Yamina, gives us very important principles to approach the Quran. Who would like to read the first point?
Maybe before we read the first point, so there are two things, and I don't know if we should take the time to go there or not. One is the text that you just shared with us, Isra. We could go briefly over it, but I don't know how long we can dwell on this story, this passage actually, starting from before the creation of Adam, is telling us some things that are extremely important about the creation of human being. And there is also at least in this story, it's an opening or giving us some meaning about the problem of evil, which is like thing that bothers us the most, because human being has this capability of causing corruption and shedding blood, which pertains to oppression and injustice and all that. Because when we look at the problem of evil, it's the evil that looks to human will that bothers us the most, actually. So there is part of that, and here it's giving a very profound meaning to that, because as you mentioned, Isra, there is no direct answer of no, he doesn't. He's a very, this new creature is very good, doesn't shed blood or something. The answer does not even directly answer that. The answer is that this new creation has some qualities. And one of the qualities, because this story is going to be told in different parts of the Quran, here it's the names. This is the first time it's been told, and it's about this Adam. This, in another part, is going to say this human being is taught the names. And then, and that's why they are told to prostrate. And in another passage, it will be, I have breathed of my own spirit into him, therefore prostrate. So the prostration is because this being has been taught the names, and this teaching of the names is related to God's spirit being breathed into human beings. So we're not going there. I think one, and maybe not even into the problem of evil and how this is giving a profound answer and meaning to our life here and now, meaning of. Because otherwise, without this, when we actually had even one of our first retreats was about the fall and rise of Adam, I think, if I remember correctly, yes. Because it is when we get acquainted somehow to this mystery of the fall and the ascension, the first ascension of Adam, that we start like rising, the problem of good and evil, and because both of them are there to lift us beyond this, because we are not created for this transient world. And it's only when we're stuck in this transient world that that's part of our fall, and we can only start rising, ascending, the ascension, Mi'raj, when we start seeing the beyond, seeing everything as what they are, as being here to show us the way beyond. They are not here for, the signpost is not the goal, the signpost is showing the way beyond to not only to Akhirah, but Akhirah means where we will see our true source, we will be closer to God without any, without being stuck in the so-called worldly, which are transient anyway. But because when we are stuck in that egocentric and therefore don't have any sense of meaning, when we are in that darkness, we don't even realize that everything is transient, is flowing, and therefore there is nothing to hold on to. And it's only when we have that sense of crisis, there's nothing to hold on to, that we are going to look for that urwatul wuthqa, that's something permanent to hold on. And that's not anything permanent. Anything we can hold on is going to pertain to our sustainer, inshallah. Another more that's more relevant here, I think, is the way we are told in the Quran, in various parts in the Quran. The story is told in a way that we understand that Adam represents all humanity. Because in 230, Isra just shared with us the ayah that's also, behold, your Rabb, your sustainer, said to the angels, I'm going to place a Khalifa, a representative, a vice regent on earth. This God plans to place this Adam on earth is in other places, Adam and his descendant, we are told, on earth. For instance, we are told somewhere, I think it's in Surah Al-An'am, Isra 6:165, if it is correct. It is God who made you, but here you refers to all people, Khalifa on earth, Khalifas, vicegerents on earth. So there we understand that the same, we are making Adam Khalifa, we are making you, all of you, all people, Khalifa. So we understand that it's totally parallel, the narrative. And in Surah Al-A'raf,
which means Adam represents us in that event.
It's exactly the same, just replaced. It's in Surah Al-A'raf 7. Surah Al-A'raf is 7, 10 and 11. 10 and 11, we are told, O people, we have given you a place on earth and appointed thereon a means of livelihood for you, yet how seldom you are grateful. We have created you and then formed you. And then we said unto the angels, prostrate yourself before Adam. So the story that applies to Adam, even the words are used the same, is here in the context of all human beings. Does it make sense? And then we said, and then we formed you. Just like it says, we have created Adam, we formed him. Then we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam. Here it's saying, all of you, all people, because in Arabic, the singular and the plural are different.
So this is plural you.
This is plural you. It's not one you. It's we have created you. مكناكم وجعلناكم خلقناكم ثم صورناكم. It's all plural. You, plural. The other one is thou, one, or create him. So, and prostrate yourself before Adam. The Adam is left here so we can make the connection. So we make the connection that here Adam represents a potential in everyone, whereupon they prostrated the angels, except Iblis. And then in Surah Al-Hijr, which is 15, 28, 29. Again, we are told
Sorry.
Again, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ, and your Rabb, your sustainer, said unto the angels, behold, I am about to create a mortal human, Bashar, out of sounding clay, out of dark slime, transmuted. And when I have formed him fully and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down before him in prostration. So it's Adam, then it's all human beings, all people, and then here it is a human being, Bashar. It doesn't say insan here.
And it doesn't say Adam. So
it doesn't say Adam. Yeah, Bashar is usually in the Quran, especially in Arabic in general, refers to the physical characteristic of human beings. When you say insan, it refers more to human behavior, to the personality, the conduct, the non-physical features of human beings. So here I'm creating this human being, this mortal human being. So, and the same words, the same imagery, the angels being told to prostrate before human beings. So clearly, we understand that who is Adam?
Us.
Every human being. I mean, especially in 7-11, you have the plural referring to all people than to Adam.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair for highlighting this. Yeah.
And just like Adam is created out of dried clay, here we are told a mortal human being, Bashar, is created from clay. So again, and in 1529, actually, it's interesting because here it's going to be clearer. When I have fashioned him here is the human being, the mortal human being, and breathed of my spirit unto him. So it's the same thing that is we are told about Adam is told again about human being. Then fall down before him in prostration.
And Dr. Yamina, the verse that said khulafa, that was also very kind of significant, that we made you vicegerents, plural.
Yes.
And again, invokes the passage we read about Adam alayhi salam being made a khalifa, a vicegerent.
And if you take, we said 7, Surah Al-Araf 10-11, it's talking about all people. And then it says, we have created you. And then go to 7:20-27. The story carries on, the same story, but told differently. Different information is given. It says, thereupon, so the story is really carrying on in the same way. It's talking to all people. And then it says, thereupon Satan, in 20, whispered unto the two. In Arabic, there is a singular, a plural, and there is also a dual. So when you say the two here is in Arabic, there is a pronoun for that, with a view of making them conscious of their nakedness, of which they had been unaware. He said, your Rabb, your sustainer, only forbade you to this tree to prevent you from becoming angels or immortals. And then if we go to 26, just because we don't want to go into the details, but if you have time, you can read the whole passage, inshallah. O children of Adam, Ya Bani Adam, O children of Adam, indeed we have sent down to you nakedness. So this story is told about Adam only in paradise, and how they both were Adam and Eve. Eve is not mentioned by name, but we understand Adam and his partner. They've been asked to be sent to go down to earth. But here, the same thing is being told about all human beings. 7:27 again, O children of Adam, do not let Satan seduce you as he did your parents, causing them to leave the garden, stripping them of their garments to expose their nakedness to them. So he says, do not be seduced, do not let Satan seduce you as he did your parents. It means everything that applies to Adam applies to everyone else. If you look at the whole story of Adam, you will find out that it applies to everyone. So now, inshallah, it's going to make more sense when we read the first point, inshallah.
Who would like to read?
I can read something.
Okay.
Just the first point?
Yeah.
First point. In the all-wise Quran, there are numerous minor events behind which are concealed universal principles, and which are shown as the tips of general laws. For example, he taught Adam the names, all of them. This is the teaching of the names, which was a miracle of Adam before the angels, because of his ability to be vicegerent of the earth, and was a minor event. But it forms the tip of a universal principle, which is as follows. It was the teaching, due to man's comprehensive disposition, of countless sciences and numerous all-embracing branches of knowledge about the universe, an extensive learning about the Creator's attributes and qualities, which afforded man superiority over not only the angels, but also the heavens and the earth and the mountains in the question of the bearing of the supreme trust. And like the Quran states that through his comprehensive disposition, man is a spiritual vicegerent of the earth. So the minor event in the unseen of the angels prostrating before Adam and Satan not prostrating is the tip of a broad and universal observed principle. These hint at an extensive truth, which is as follows. By mentioning the angels' obedience, excuse me, obedience and submission before the person of Adam and Satan's pride and refusal, the Quran makes understood that most of the physical beings in the universe and their non-physical representatives and appointed beings are subjected to man, and that man's senses are predisposed and amenable to benefiting from all of them. And pointing out what a fearsome enemy and serious obstacle in the path of man's progress are evil matter and its representatives and evil indwelling spirits, which corrupt man's nature and drive him down wrong paths. The Quran of miraculous exposition, while speaking of a minor matter with Adam, peace be upon him, converses in elevated fashion with the whole universe and all mankind.
Thank you.
Thank you. So here actually there is something that here he's talking about the principle, but he's not spelling in details how the taskhir that is going here, the subjugated, being subjugated to a human being is taskhir, which when we were reading the 30th word with the 33 windows, there was an emphasis on taskhir because it's repeated in the Quran many times that Allah has subjugated this and this and this to you, to us. So here, there are two things. One is that most of the physical beings in the universe and then non-physical representative that looks to the angelic world. Again, in the 33 windows, we saw how everything has a mulk side and a malakut side, a side that looks to what we see, the physical, and one that looks to the angelic words, that looks to the meaning and purpose, and behind or beyond the meaning and purpose, that looks to all the beautiful names, to the mercy and knowledge and power and wisdom of the whoever is sustaining and creating and bringing into existence all of this. And that looks to the divine command of be and it is. So that's the non-physical part. So most of the physical creation and the non-physical behind it, I'm saying behind it, but maybe beyond is better, because when well, at least it's maybe my problem, growing up as if the physical, what I touch and see and smell thing is the reality, and as if what it points to is secondary. But it's not true. That's not how it is. What I see is only the result of that we become aware later, but actually what we become aware later is more real than what we touch. What we touch and see and live right now is flowing. It's not as real as we imagine it to be. We only make it more real than it is because we remain unaware, or we don't dwell enough in that awareness of its transience, its impermanence, its flowingness. And if we dwell and stay with that impermanence, with that flow, we will have more and more the certainty of what is beyond is more real. What is beyond is what is bringing this down. The meaning, the meaning of those beautiful names is what is sustaining these things here. It's like the soul and spirit of the body. The body without life would not be something worthy. So all those are the physical, they are all appointed, they are all subjugated to human being. They are all created to serve us. They're already serving us. Most of things are already serving us. Even if we start thinking about it physically, when our free will does not interfere, we eat, we drink, we breathe, we see, the light is there, everything is there to fulfill our life. But then he says, and not only everything around us, but the senses that are given to us are also, they are given to us in a way that are amenable to benefiting from everything. Except there are some things, he's calling them evil matter and its representative, and evil indwelling spirits, which corrupts man nature and drive him down to wrong paths. So here it's still unclear, and we are not going to dwell on this. However, I am attracting our attention because this is the only thing that has the potential to harm us or to thwart our growth is this. Anything that pertains to Satan, that pertains to Iblis. And this, what makes us pertains or is related to the names that we are taught. So to the extent that we feel consciously we become aware of our ability to learn the names, and we do learn the names, then we will become aware of what is beneficial and what is harmful in our journey in this life. And that's in the Quran, we can see that with the repetition. What comes to my mind is Surah Yasin. Again and again, we are told Satan is Aduwwun Mubin, a clear enemy. He's your clear enemy. And so to me, we need to know who this Satan is and how it manifests in our life. Because if we don't know who Satan is, we may be following him without even realizing. So the more we become aware who Satan is, the more, inshallah, we will not follow in its steps. And Satan is, of course, mentioned at the beginning of this passage. Remember, the author says that it is the Satan came up with this question, and we talked about how this question, this doubt, is not bad in itself, but if we take it for granted without questioning it, without consciously looking for being aware that this is a question and looking for an answer, when we do that, then we grow, and a new world, a new knowledge, new wisdom is gifted to us. But when we don't answer out of fear, or when we say, oh yeah, it's true, why is this, and take it as the end, that's it, and question, then we will be following Satan, or falling into Satan's trap without even realizing, because we take it that this is my doubt, this is my question. Because so is that a question that's mine and a question that is Satan? That's another topic. But if the more we don't identify with our thoughts come to us, whether from Satan or not, they are not me. They are, a question came to me. But when we live from the ego, most of the time, astaghfirullah, we think, oh, this is my question, this is my understanding, it's in fact, we cannot identify with our thoughts because our thoughts keep changing. Just like we can't identify with the body. Yes, the body is there, it's given to me, it's a gift, I use it, but it's not, that's not me. Of course, with the body, it's easier, but with thoughts and feelings, we definitely, when we don't live consciously, we identify with them so much that we can't make the difference between inspiration and whispering of Satan. And there is nothing wrong with whispering from Satan, as long as we don't follow it blindly, because it is the whispering that is going to, well, not it is the whispering. Whispering also leads to asking for inspiration, for help, for seeking guidance.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Yamina, this is so so deep, because in the story, I used to think Adam alayhi salam represents us, but angels bowing down to Adam, prostrating to Adam, I only used to take it as representing the potential of human being that could go beyond angels. But here, in addition to that, it's saying that angels bowing down is signaling that in your journey on earth, angels will support you, meaning, you know, as you said, what appears to be physical actually has an angelic side, the tree growing or the electrons moving. All of them are from one side they look physical, but actually they are connected to that angelic side, as you said earlier. So all of the universe, or most of the universe, is actually there to support human potential. And then Satan, Iblis, refusing to bow down is representing that aspect, minority, but still important.
Minor, yeah.
Yeah, minor. There are some things in our journey on earth that we have to watch out for. in the world that are harmful and detrimental to us, and seek to corrupt our nature. So we need to be kind of aware of that. So Satan refusing to, actually later on in the Quranic passages, Satan actually explicitly says that I am going to, mislead them if you could just give me some time. So all of this are actually very clearly signaling to us to be careful, as you said. I mean,
there are trees on the way. Most of the way is paved. It's sirat, means paved way, but there are still some
things to watch out for. And
small dangers still.
Yeah, and this also coming back to the beginning of the first point, it's saying there are many apparently minor events told in the Quran, but actually are embedded in them universal principles. So this in passage, this event of Adam being taught the names, and angels prostrating before Adam, and Iblis refusing to prostrate, all of that has actually, it's a story of us and it is unpacking our existence and our reality, and the reality of the world we live in is just the half principle.
And what is, someone may say, yeah, but he's not telling us here the details. But I feel that because he does teaches the details in other passages. But here, it's, for me personally, when I first read this, it was like the first part, and you will see the second part is also very intriguing, because that's when personally I started feeling that, okay, I need to learn what is this علم آدم الأسماء كلها. What does it mean that we were taught the names? How do I learn the names? What are these names? And why are they so important? And I mean, if we've been following and receiving Nur, we already have a glimpse of that, at least inshallah. And how is this related to Teskhir? And we know now, especially like at least in a systematic way from the 33 windows, how the teaching of the names, or our learning, having the knowledge of the names, is related to reflecting, studying, pondering over the creation, including our life, because our life happens within the creation. And that's how the names unfold. And it's a very important part of the teskhir, of everything being subjugated to us, is it's manifesting and reflecting and teaching us the names. And you will say, oh, yeah, but like, I don't need only knowledge of the names. I need, for instance, when I'm hungry, I need food. Yeah. How do I know the name Razaq, that God is the provider? Through the food, through my eating, through my being satiated, through my enjoying the food. All of that is part of the process. So again, because we have no clue in the beginning, we think, I don't need the knowledge only. Like if I don't have, I'm hungry and I don't have food, if I'm sick and I need health, what are you talking about? It's not enough to tell me that God is the healer, or God is the provider, but I can only witness and experience and know truly the names to the extent that I am going through all that process of eating and enjoying that food and feeling satisfied and healing. And so all that's the witnessing is possible, and the learning of the names is possible, and all the goodness and the joy that we get in this life especially that it pertains to akhirah, to eternity, that happiness is very short. Shortness, its transience itself hurts more than it benefits. And that's why because it hurts so much, we want to forget about the transience, and we totally focus us on life as if there is only what we see. But deep down, we cannot be truly the inner, the soul, cannot be fulfilled. So you see how the fact that everything is serving us physically, emotionally, intellectually, teaching us the name, spiritually, everything is included in that taskhir.
And Dr. Yamina, there is a hand up.
Sure, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Also, when I hear that my creator taught me the names, it also gives me reassurance that everything that I need is already inbuilt within me. So it, like, as I'm in this life, as I am either finding meaning and accepting the service of the angels through finding meaning, or rejecting meaning and allowing Satan to be the one that's, in control of this forehead. I have the ability already to recognize those names of Allah, those attributes, and the meaning of his creation outside of me and inside of me. So for me, that is reassurance, because it's not like I have to figure out what justice is, and I never really knew what justice was, and I don't know if I'm really going to be able to recognize it, or I don't really know what beauty is. I don't know if I'll be able to recognize it, or I don't really know what love is. I won't be able to recognize it when I feel it. To be told by my creator that he has taught me the names brings me like reassurance that when I do feel justice, that this truly is his attribute. It's there. And it's not, and if I have ever experienced love before, that was truly his attribute. If I have ever seen beauty before, that was truly his, that I was able to recognize it, and he put that ability within me, and it's inbuilt in my system that he has created for me. I like this a lot. I love the reassurance that everything that we need, we've already been given.
Yeah, that's an important point. And not only if I was given that, even if someone thinks, but I never experienced justice, or I never was loved in my life. But if we tell the person, okay, so how much do you think you lacked love? We can say, very much, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I had only 1 or 2, like almost nothing. The fact that I can talk about it, and I can realize that, or feel that I'm lacking something, I did not have enough, it means I have the sense of it. I know what a 10 is in my mind, like fully being loved. And I'm saying, but in my life, it's not that. Subhanallah, it means I already know that. So all of us, however we perceive things, we all have that sense, yeah. And just in case we don't know what علم آدم الأسماء, he taught Adam the names, all of them is, and we don't know, so what's here a hint that all the angels prostrated to you means everything has been subjugated, made subservient to, given to your service, and a small part of things are not, they are obstacles, serious obstacles in the path of man's progress. So in the progress, so progress towards what? How are these things an obstacle? Having these questions, I feel, is also very important, because then now we feel the need to go and learn from this. And so, because this pertains to our life purpose, you know, we study, we give time and effort and money, and we went through all our life, we studied for many years to go to college, and then you go to college and then you work hard to get to make a living, and we all put our children through the same process without even questioning all this effort to get some living in this life. We're not even sure if you get the best job or this or that, but we are investing so much. And here we are told all what you are investing won't have much meaning and won't be really fulfilling if you don't have this, because that pertains to temporary, transient life. But this is why you have been created, and you have a potential that you are unaware of. And through this potential, what is going to open up is the realizing how everything is being given to our service. And also there are some dangers, and how to become aware of the danger. So I think this is very important. If we realize the importance of this and feel the need to learn more and to apply this in our life, I think that will be worth it. Inshallah. Any other comment, inshallah? So the second point will be about the worshipping of the cow and what was the passage at the beginning? God commands that you sacrifice a cow. So again, here it will be, what is my cow and how do I sacrifice it? And once we start, we know what the cow is referring to, that it's a universal law, then every one of us has a cow. Every one of us in their inner world, we will know that it's not, we are reluctant to surrender to this command and actually sacrifice the cow. And whenever we sacrifice the cow, because we can sacrifice the cow, and then like the people of Moses, after they sacrificed the cow, they made a golden cow, because they were not truly willingly surrendering. It was like just reluctantly. So when we willingly surrender and sacrifice the cow, lots of barakah, lots of blessings come. And when we reluctantly do it, and then we realize that, oh, I thought I solved that, but no, I made a golden one, new golden cow, and I'm not even aware of it. So inshallah, that will be next week.
Dr. Yamina, Ziba wrote in the chat, will we be moving to second point, as I think there's so much to go in depth with the first point. Ziba, do you have any questions or comments on?
You want to share a question? Of course, but I don't want to dwell on a point when I am sharing my own reflections and I don't know
there is interest.
There is interest, how much in which point. That will come up through question and answer or comments. Maybe your own, inshallah, we will benefit from your inspirations, your reflections.
Yeah, that was my point, like how we can apply, like how we can maybe reflect on this and see it in our lives and day-to-day lives, in each and every, like maybe every day, just something to reflect on and see how, like, these names and how, like, because there's so much to the passage Isra read in the Quran. Like, if we just reflect on that, I don't know how. Yeah, it might take so many of our sessions, but to move on, like, if we are still absorbing what was said today, so maybe next week if we can come with that absorption and reflection, I think that would be before moving to the next point. I think so we all can absorb it, reflect on.
Inshallah, if people do, then we will share that and then move on to the second point, inshallah.
Ziba, am I hearing that you're volunteering to share a couple minutes in the beginning of the session?
Yeah, inshallah, inshallah, whoever is ready, and we should, like, that should be our homework, inshallah. I'll inshallah make it a point to go back to this halaqah again and listen again, and then inshallah.
Thank you. That'll be good, inshallah.
Thank you. There is a lot definitely here. Yeah. So then on that note, we stop here for tonight, inshallah.
إن شاء الله. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Inshallah, everyone stays in peace and in Allah's infinite mercy. We all need it so much and we forget so much. So astaghfirullah bi'adadi ma khalaq. Thank you.
Thank you. Jazakumullah khair, Dr. Yamina, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.